Welcome to the Nosey Gardener channel, and I'm introducing you to Mary Beth, and this is her property in an in-town lot in Wolfeboro, and she has maximized the front yard and the backyard for vegetables and flowers and herbs. And Mary Beth is going to take us on a tour.
Sure.
Tell us your vision. Anything you want to say to introduce yourself?
No, I had my own business for 33 years, and so I didn't have a lot of time, but I really wanted to be able to grow as much of my own food as possible to avoid chemicals and sprays, and to maximize nutrition. So I started gardening in the front about 20 years ago, because there was not so much sun in the back. Since then we've had some trees fall, so it's a little more.
Yeah, I think the viewers will be inspired of what you can do in your front yard and your backyard, because you have a slope, you have shade, you have rocks, you have a wet area and a little brook or a stream. So she pretty much has everything here. So and it looks really beautiful too, which is nice. It's very organized. So let's take a walk around.
Okay.
So we're going to start here in the front.
Okay.
So you get mainly full sun here, most of the, except for right here right now.
Yeah, it comes around from this tree, so it'll be full sun in about an hour. It's 10 now, so we get a good 7 hours, because then
it's going to go across.
Yeah. So in this, I rotate every year, but what always kind of seeds itself is the dill and the nasturtiums. And this year, this happens to be the squash and garlic garden.
What type of squash is it?
This is probably summer squash here. All the winter squash is in the back, because that trails. Poppies are in here. Let's see what else. I've got some, I can't think of the name, onion in the family that have gone to seed. So I save a lot of my own seeds. I put in a lot of calendula.
So when it goes to seed, do you still harvest the onion or garlic?
No. Okay. So this will be seeds for next year.
Okay.
Yeah. And shallots, that's what it is.
Okay.
And I've got some new things I started over here, because I had radishes in here earlier. This is the pumpkin patch, so
that looks nice.
And then there's beans interspersed. So anywhere I have those are all sunflowers from last year, those 3 stalks. So I put beans around them, and just left the stalks in the ground. And
the shape of it is very attractive, how you've made it rounded, and it just fits nicely.
Husband. That's my husband. This is usually beans or peas or something that trellises, filled with calendula inside. So I always have a lot of flowers to attract the pollinators. And over here, I always have a lot of amaranth in the garden, because it attracts a lot of pollinators when it starts to flower. This is carrots and a few kale volunteers. And then this is the tomato garden this year. This is my favorite place for the tomato garden.
Very nice.
Because it gets full sun. And I always plant a lot of borage with it. It's supposed to make your tomatoes sweeter. You can eat the flowers. Makes a nice tea.
And what do you do for watering? Do you hand water?
We hand water mostly, yeah. Hope that we get enough sun.
And I like the purple, the purple, what do you call them, cages or racks?
To match the borage.
Yes, very nice. Now, do you start all of your plants from seed?
I start, 90% of them from seed.
Okay.
Yeah. We've got peas here, snap peas at that end. I think we missed it.
Oh, wow, okay. And this is the first week of July, so everything looks great, nice and tall.
Yeah, this is our little greenhouse, which I pick greens in right through till the middle of December. And then
really?
Again in March, I'm picking a lot of the parsley and spinach overwinters, kale overwinters. Got cucumbers, peppers, Swiss chard,
That's great. And you
These
said
will
your
be
husband.
leeks.
Okay, leeks. And you said your husband built this.
My husband built this. Yeah.
Did you have a special vision in mind when he was going to town, or was that his project?
Just that I wanted a raised bed. You know, I
Mhm.
wanted it raised bed. So, yeah, no, he kind of did it on his own.
And it's right here in the front yard.
And then over here we've got garlic. I plant 200 heads of garlic.
Wonderful.
I have a friend who does some gardening with me, so some of it's hers, Cindy. Usually this is filled with flowers, but this year I decided to do ground cherries in these 2 pots.
Okay.
So they're not doing as well as that pot's doing better. This pot's not doing as well as I wished, but I ran out of room for them, so I decided to put them in the pots. I've got potato bags right here.
Okay.
This is always just filled with edible greens, so salads, things, and then
Easy to pick, right? And just walk right
and then
from the
I
door.
always have some greens going up there too, microgreens going up there.
Oh, okay, in the flats.
Yep, in the flats. This is all, it's called Sweet William Catchfly, and it reseeds, and the pollinators love it, so it comes up all over the garden. I have fennel purslane, which again reseeds. It's a great, people call it an herb, but it's really an actual very beneficial annual.
I'm going to skip back to the garlic though.
Okay.
When do you plant your bulbs?
In October.
Okay.
And as you can see, I missed a few of the garlic scapes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
yes.
So it'll be ready to harvest in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them maybe, yeah, in a week or two. End of October usually. You know, it's been getting late, warm later.
Yes, that's what I thought.
So I would almost wait. You could wait till November. This is a bed I pulled, and now I've just replanted it again
with a new seed of some sort. Okay.
Yeah. I think I put beets in there, and I had extra tomato plants, so I threw those in here. So this is the kind of garden that just keeps getting turned over kind of a lot. Over here I have tansy, which is kind of wild, and I cut some recently and put it on the floor of the greenhouse because it repels moths, but you can't put it in the soil because it's not great for the soil if you're growing vegetables.
So, and what is the
this will
purpose?
Flower.
Okay, so it has a nice flower.
It has a nice flower. Yeah, it's a beautiful yellow flower. This is cilantro. This is mostly flowers here, and there are a lot of native flowers. I can't tell you I remember all the names of them, but most of them are all native in this garden. And then there's onions interspersed in here.
Okay.
This is
Black-eyed Susan?
Yeah, Black-eyed Susan and goldenrod and Joe Pyeweed, and yeah, mostly all natives.
That's nice.
This is all flowers here.
And are these perennials then here?
Yeah, mostly.
Okay, all perennials.
Yeah, they're all perennials actually, yeah.
I'm just doing a tour here of how this is the front yard and how nice it looks.
And we can walk over to the little herb garden. And then over here we have, this is flowers, and those are all perennials there. We have our new peach tree.
Yeah, I want to see the peaches. Look at that. And you said you planted this last year?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
No, it's done
That's
well.
great. Look at that.
I harvest the comfrey from this garden, put it around the base to it gives it a lot of nutrition. And then this is the tansy.
Okay.
The kind of messy pot that I don't want in the soil, but it'll help keep the bugs away.
So you use it more as a repellent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the comfrey I use as a fertilizer.
Okay.
My son taught me that. And this is an herb garden. There's mostly perennials in here, not all. Lemon balm, thyme, oregano. I think that's called shisha. It's used in a lot of Japanese.
Which one is that?
Cooking, the red one.
Oh, the red one. Okay.
Got St. John's wort, multiple kinds of mint, basil, lavender, yarrow, sage, wormwood.
Do you do anything?
Wild bergamot.
Oh, okay.
Tarragon.
Tarragon.
think I covered everything. What were we going to ask?
I was going to ask if you do anything special with them at the end of the season, just dry them or...
Well, some of them I'll tincture.
Oh, okay.
And then I dry a lot for teas. So I use them medicinally and culinary.
Nice.
These are Egyptian walking onions. And so you can already see they started their little sprout right here.
Oh,
and
okay.
those will walk. They actually fall down, which is why they call them walking onions,
Okay.
and plant a new onion for next year.
Really? Wonderful.
So those are fun.
And this is Mary Beth's potting shed in there, which she said isn't so pretty inside, but I peeked in. It was cute. So that's nice. You have that tucked over here for a working area.
Yep. And this is, gosh, can't think of the name of that, but that's a perennial green. You use it in soups all the time.
Oh, really? Okay.
It'll come to me. And some ornamental grasses.
And this, you know, the area between the property, it's just all wild fern. You said it's damp and there's some water coming through here.
Yeah, and then there's herbs like there's dock, and I've got elderberry on the other side.
So do you use
sweet fern?
The dock?
You can use some of them. Yeah, you can do, you know, more medicinally.
Okay.
Yep. Jewelweed is here.
Yeah, that's good for like a poison ivy.
Yep. Good for your skin.
Healer or whatever. So this is very interesting back here because you said it's wet and you have some water running through.
Yeah.
And then your husband did the raised beds because you couldn't plant, which is very interesting. So what do you have in those beds?
That one has broccoli and kale right now.
Okay.
And this one has lettuce and beets, I believe, and maybe arugula.
Nice. Do you have them netted for deer or insects?
No, for insects.
Okay.
Yeah. We do have deer, but, you know, they ate all my sunflowers in the front. So, whatever. I don't mind feeding them. This is rhubarb. That's a huckleberry tree.
Oh, wow.
This is...
Yeah, I want to step back here and get a hole so people can see that it's how tiered it is. Yeah, so did you do the retaining wall, or was that there?
Yeah, Sean Papp did the retaining wall. It was kind of there, but he redid it. And then we had some leftover wood and some bamboo from our containers from Bali.
Okay.
So we just used what we had and tiered it. And I put flowers on the top. I've got stinging nettles over there. And then that's all winter squash, mostly. This is all kale right here. And so I do the winter squash or potatoes back here. It depends because they need a lot of room. So by fall, this whole grass area will be covered with winter squash.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It'll all fall in.
And this is your high-tech step to get up there?
That's my step to get up there. Yeah.
And do you plant these from seed? Do you start them in the greenhouse? Or?
No, everything. I don't start too much early. I do tomatoes. That's about it.
Oh, and you were going to tell me about the vine borer secret.
Oh, I'll show you in front. You can put a... Well, when we go up front, I'll show you.
There.
This is... I tried watermelon this year. I don't think I'm going to get anything. They're too little, but it was worth a try. And then, of course, I use a lot of stinging nettles, so that's what that is.
How do you use that?
I make pestos with it. I cook it. Yeah. You make teas. I dry it for teas.
Okay. A lot of butterflies here.
A lot of butterflies. And then we can just walk around this way. I have a sauna. These two little wine barrels I didn't really get to, but they have mullein in them, which I'll dry for tea. And that's a raspberry bush I'm trying to bring back to life. But as you can see, it didn't really get much attention. And these are our compost bins.
And how do you like those? They work out pretty well?
They're good. We also have a compost pile over here. You can see a squash growing out of it.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's very interesting back here. It's very peaceful.
Yeah, it's nice to be so close to town and have it so quiet. Yeah, and then we have elderberry here. This is all elderberry.
Very nice. Do you harvest them?
I do. Yeah, I also use the flowers. Can make fritters out of them.
Oh, okay.
Or
interesting.
Teas. Can eat them. And yeah, this is my first try with the vine borer problem. So we'll see what happens. I'll show you what I did. So as soon as you've got some space down here, you put a little tin foil around the bottom.
That's it?
That's what I've been told. So we'll see.
Okay, so you're first trying it.
Yeah, I haven't done it before.
I hope it works.
I do too.
Because those things
are a pain.
They're very frustrating.
Yeah,
Everything looks great. Next thing you know,
my
they're all
husband's
over.
good about killing the white moths. I believe it's the white moths that plant the eggs for the vine borers. I think that's the way it goes. But
and then an apple tree of some sort.
Cherry tree is not doing so well, so we have to figure that out. We've kind of not, but it's got something on the bottom, so we got to get this checked. We've kind of hoped it would come back for a couple of years, and it hasn't. So this year we got to get it checked.
Nice.
But usually it's full of sour cherries.
Mm-hmm. Great.
So
yeah, very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we'll wrap up. Thank you for the tour.
Thanks.
Any other encouragement for people who might be in town and
grow your own food? It's way better than the supermarket.
And the tip that I get is to make it attractive, mixing it with flowers. It makes it very pretty.
And do it anywhere. You know, use every space you've got.
Mm-hmm. And you didn't use every space you have.
No, I didn't, but kind of. My husband thinks I did.
Very nice balance.
Come on, Tom, get in.
Farmer.
So Tom
has joined in.
Yeah. Tom's really helpful in the garden, and we do everything organically. So he's out here watering and checking for bugs every morning and keeping it going. I don't think I could do all this without him. So
well, then, as far as the bugs, how do you deal with that then organically? Because that is a challenge.
Well, it is. But,
we use vinegar. We use baking soda. We use the like I said, the tansy that we have.
And then just
spraying them too.
Spraying them, catching them.
Just spraying with water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just the pressure.
The aphids,
the aphids and stuff.
We pick them off.
So really just keeping an eye on them, right?
Yeah. And you get the beetles and stuff.
And I do a shout out to Cindy, who comes over a couple times a week, and it's a lot of vegetables for me, so she helps, and she also she also picks, so it's great.
Well, thank you, Mary Beth.
Thank you. It was fun.